Welcome back to calculator section 2018 May. Let's continue to solve this problem. Number one, a gravel company had 30 tons of gravel in stock at the end of the day on Monday. On Tuesday, the company shipped 10 tons. So I'm going to highlight it. Shipped 10 tons, but in the beginning, it has 30 tons. And then received no deliveries. And on Wednesday, the company made a no shipment, but received 20 tons. And on Thursday, company made a no shipment and then received no deliveries. There's a no coming in, no going out. And on Friday, the company shipped 20 tons of gravel and received no deliveries. So on Friday, shipped 20 tons. Now, which of the following represent the number of tons of gravel the company had in stock at the end of each day? So if you look at answer choices, you're starting from 30 tons. So every graph is start from 30 tons here. Now on Tuesday, shipped 10 tons. So shipped 10 tons means it should decrease. So it going down to like 20, like that. So you can eliminate first these two. Now, next, on Wednesday, received the 20 tons. So it should increase at 20. So this one, it's the same. So now it's a 40 tons. And on Friday, shipped 20 tons. But before Friday, Thursday there's a no shipment, no received, no delivery. So it should be continuing like this on Thursday. So answer has to be D. And after that, 20 tons shipped. So it should go down from 40 to 20. So answer is equivalent to D. Okay, so just underline like what's happening in the stock each day. Then you can see which one matches up. Number two. Root 2x equals 8, and what is the value of x? You can scale both sides, so 2x equals 64, and then x is a 32. So C. Let's move on. 10 equals 2x plus 14, and then which of the following must be true? So subtract 14 both sides. If you subtract 14 both sides, cancels out. So you end up with the 2x equals negative 4. And then which one is equivalent? If you multiply by 4, then 8x equals to negative 16. So it should be C. Or you can solve for x and then plug in those x values and then see which one also correct equation. You can do that too. Number 4. Hardcover books produced by a publisher have pages that are 0.1 millimeters thick. Front cover and back cover each 2 millimeters thick. And then which of the following gives the total thickness f of n in millimeters of a closed book that has n pages? So what is the total thickness, right? Total thickness. And then front cover, back cover, not going to change it. So 2 times 2 plus each page is 0.1 millimeters thick. And number of pages is n. So 0.1 times n. So that is 4 plus 0.1 n. So that is equivalent to A. Now let's move on to number 5. Teacher has signed up for a program that automatically delivers books for the classroom library. Classroom library currently consists of 48 books. If the program delivers 12 books a month, and then how many books will the classroom library consist of after 5 months? So 48, that's the number of books currently has, plus each month 12 books. So 5 times 12. And this is calculator section, so you are allowed to use it. Plus 5 times 12, so 108. So that's same as B. This is B. The area of closed circle, 25 pi square inches. So what is the length of the radius? So if you recall, area of circle is pi r square. So 25 pi, same as equals pi r squared. So r is 5. So answer should be B. Number 7. On analysis of a random sample of type of laptop computer battery, estimated the mean working time 4.7 hours. That's the mean working time. With a margin of error 0.7 hours. So which of the following is the most appropriate conclusion based on the analysis? So let's see. So they gave you mean time. So let's say in the number line, mean time here is 4.7 hours. And they give you margin of error. Margin of error means how much error it can occur from the center. Center means it's mean. It could go up plus 0.7. It could go down minus 0.7. So that's the error bound here. So 4.7 plus 0.7, which is a 5.4. And 4.7 minus 0.7 is a 4. So anywhere between 4.0 and 5.4 hours, the mean working time will located. So should it be C? Okay. So mean working time should be between 4 and 5.4 hours using margin of error. Number 8, y equals 2x plus 7. On the equation of the line L in the xy plane as shown above, another line K, slope equal to double. This one, slope has a double the slope, and also y-intercept to double. So you can say this is a line L, and line K, slope double, so y equals a 4x plus y-intercept double, so 7 times 2 is a 14. And question is, at which point do line L and K intersect? So if you see, they ask you, what is the intersection of two lines? So you set equal to each other. So 4x plus 14 is going to be equal to 2x plus 7. If you collect like terms, 2x equals negative 7. So your x value, negative 7 over 2. So you already know answer should be A. But if you want to find out y coordinate, you can plug it in here. So y equals 4 times negative 7 over 2 plus 14. Then you can cancel. Negative 14 plus 14, that is a 0. So that is correct answer. Number 9, in the normal weather condition, particular type of jet burns the average 2.4 gallons of fuel per nautical miles flown. Nautical miles flown. And the distance from New York to Los Angeles is about 2,100 nautical miles. They give you distance. Approximately how many gallons of fuel will jet burn from a trip from New York to Los Angeles in normal weather condition? This one you can use dimensional analysis. So let's use this way. 2.4 gallons per nautical mile. So let's say just a mile. That's gas mileage for the jet. And then it will fly 2,100 miles. Then this one gives you how many gallons of fuel the jet will need. Mile cancels out. So if you use a calculator, 2,100 times 2.4, that gives me exactly 5,040 gallons. But this is approximately 5,000. So C is answer. Number 10. Quadratic function f of x equals 2 parentheses x plus 2 square minus 1. In the xy plane, which of the following could be the graph of y equals f of x shifted 3 units to the right? So first of all, if you draw f of x, your vertex form of the quadratic function y equals a x minus h squared plus k. So vertex is h and k. So this problem here, h is a -2, k is a -1. So when you mark it on the xy coordinate, -2, -1, right here, that's the location of vertex. Since a is a positive, then open upward. So graph shape looks like something like this. But they ask you if this f of x graph shifted 3 units to the right. So it will be 1 here, -2. So 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. So graph is somewhere here, should it be. Then which one looks like that shape? Then answer has to be B. Okay, this one shifted 3 units. So it should be something like this. So that is B. 11. System of equation. What is the value of x plus y? Sometimes when you manipulate those two system of equation, you can answer quickly. But by multiplying one number, it's hard to match with x plus y. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just solve x and y. So let's multiply this second equation times a -2. Then I'm going to copy first equation, 5x plus 2y equals 22. Second equation, if you multiply by -2, -8x minus 2y equals -34. Now let's add up. Then this one cancels out. -3x equals -12. So -12. So x equals 4. Then you can plug it in either one of these equation above here. So I'm going to put in 2 here to get y value. So 4 times 4 plus y equals 17. So 16 plus y equals 17. So y has to be 1. Now question is, what is x plus y? So 4 plus 1 has to be 5. So number 11, answer is A. Okay, let's move on. The figure above, line L parallel to line M. If x is 40 degrees, then what is the measure of DEF? If you have a 2 parallel line and then cut by transversal, this angle, we call alternate interior angles. They are congruent. Also, you have other alternating angles. This one also congruent. Okay, and this one is also congruent by corresponding angles. So if you look at the diagram, since this is x degree, then this is also x degree. And it's x is 40. So I'm going to mark it 40 degrees and this one 40. So sum of interior angles for any triangle like here, that should be add up to 180. So then you can say 40 plus question mark 180. So 80 plus question mark 180. So question mark should be 100 degrees. Answer is B. Okay. Number 13. Under right conditions, giant sequoia tree are fastest growing conifer on Earth. In good growing condition, the giant sequoia tree will form 1-inch growth ring each year, increasing the size of each trunk diameter by 2 inches per year. The relationship is represented in the graph below. The giant sequoia tree also grow 4 feet vertically every 3 years. Okay, so they give you chart graph. X-axis age, y-axis diameter in inches. Now let's look at number 13. So which of the following equations represent the relationship between diameter in inches of sequoia tree's trunk and that tree's age in years? So x value is age and the y is diameter. If you look at the graph, so let's say here, that's a 50, 100. So when you plug it in the equation, which one represent when you plug it in, y value is 100, right? So I see answer D, because 2 times 50 will give you 100. Okay, so answer should be D. Now, assuming good growing conditions, how many years old is giant sequoia tree with trunk diameter 19 feet? If you remember this graph, this is about age in years and diameter in inches, not feet. So they gave you how to convert the unit into inches first. So 19 times 12. 19 times 12 will give you 228 inches diameter. They ask you the next value. So you can set it up based on this equation we found. So 228 equals 2x. So x has to be 114 years. That's the age. So answer has to be C. So make sure you convert the right unit. Number 15. The linear model Z equals 4/3 W can be used to find the height in feet of giant sequoia tree. What does W represent? So this one is not related to this graph. This is a diameter in their size of trunk, but this one they ask you about height model. So G stands for height of the tree, and then what W stand for? If you remember what this description said here, what it said is giant sequoia tree can grow 4 feet vertically every 3 years. In other words, so that means 4/3 feet every year, right? So 4/3 feet every year it'll grow. So 4/3 feet every year. So this one feet per year. That's the rate based on this here. 4 feet every 3 years means it will grow 1 year for 30 feet. So that times the number of years will give you height of the trees. So what is a 4/3? What W represent in here? So that means it should be here is age of the tree in years. So answer has to be A. Okay. The scatter plot above shows average production cost in cents per pound of coffee in Ecuador for the years 2002 to 2012. A line of best fit is also drawn, and which of the following is closest to the difference in cents per pound between actual average production cost 2012 and average production cost 2012 predicted by the given line of best fit. So we are interested in 2012 here. And the difference between actual average production and average production cost predicted. So let's look at that here. 2012. That is a 2012. So if you look at here, so actual one is a dot. This actual one is then 90 cents. And right here, that's the estimated by best fitting line, which is around 82. So they ask you difference. 90 minus 82 should be 8. So 8 cents per pound is the difference. So which one is the closest? Answer should be. Okay, so they ask you the difference between actual one and predicted by the best fitting line. Number 17. Emma mows the grass at a constant rate 1.5 acres per hour. She mowed 2 acres before lunch and then plans to spend 3 hours mowing after lunch. Emma wants to mow at least 8 acres of grass today, and then which of the following inequalities best represent the situation? So she already mowed 2 acres, and then her rate for this working 1.5. So 1.5 T. And then she wants to mow at least means that one should be greater than or equal to 8. So which equation represent this? Should be C. Okay. 18. In the system of equation above, K constant, when equations are graphed in xy plane, the graphs intersect exactly 2 points. That's the key, important information. Which of the following cannot be the value of K? So let's make this on mx plus b format, slope intercept, negative kx plus 1. So I'm going to use answer choices to answer this here. A, when k is 3. So y-intercept is 1. When k is 3, so you're going to get y equals negative 3x plus 1. So going down sharply like this. And the other one, y equals negative x squared plus 3. So y-intercept of the parabola of 3 here, and then open downward. So then you're going to have 2 intersections. So that is not answer because we are looking for which one cannot be the value of K. Now, B, so if you do that similarly, you can kind of do fast now. So linear line, y-intercept still 1. So y equals to negative 2x plus 1. So less steep, like that. And then the other equation, y equals negative x squared plus 2. So 2 is right here and still open downward. So then you're going to have two intersections. So you can cancel out. Get them. This one also not the answer. Now C. So y equals negative x plus 1. Y equals negative x squared plus 1. Let's see what happened here. So negative x plus 1 equation looks like this. 1 and negative 1. I mean positive 1. And slope is a negative 1. Now this parabola here, when you graph closely, so vertex is right here. And then x-intercept for this parabola, 0 equals negative x squared plus 1, x squared equals 1, so x equals plus minus 1. So I know this parabola, it passed through here and here. So when you graph it like this, right? So it'll pass through twice also. So this one it cannot be answered. So answer comes down to D. So that one, if you just sketch quickly, y equals 0. No, first equation, y equals 1. Y equals 1 graph looks like this. Okay, and the other equation, when you put 0, y equals negative x squared plus 0, which means like this. So they're not gonna hit. So there's no intersection. So that should be answer. Okay, just quick sketch. Number 19. 100 people played a certain video game. 85 scored more than 0, but less than 10,000 points. 14 scored between 10,000 and 100,000 points, and the remaining player 5,350,000 points. So you can see this data is way bigger than the other points. So you can kind of see this is already outlier. Okay, so which of the following statement about the mean and median of the 100 scores is true? So your data between 0 and 10,000 and 10,000 to 100,000. Now the rest of data, it's just one data. One data is 5 million something, so it's way up here. 5,350,000. So out of 100, 85 scored here, and then 14 is here. Only one is like way up here. Okay, that's what we call outlier. So that affect your actually median, it doesn't affect. But your mean value, it affects a lot, right? So when you compare which one is bigger, so your mean value should be a lot greater than median. So answer has to be A. Okay? Because outlier, your mean value will be a lot bigger than the median. Median is a number in the middle when you put in order. Okay? In spring 2015, 3 separate studies on the fitness level of the 10th grader are conducted in the city of Mistwick. In each study, every student in a group of 10th graders took the same fitness test and received a score on it. The possible scores on the fitness test are whole numbers from 50 to 100 inclusive. The distribution of the scores for each of the studies is shown in the table below. Okay. Participants for the studies are selected as follows. For study 1, 100 10th graders selected at random. For study 2, 200 10th graders selected at random. Study 3, 300 10th grader volunteer, not selected, volunteer to participate. And then no 10th grader participate more than one of the 3 studies. Okay, let's read number 20. What percent of all scores reported in the 3 studies were between in the 50 to 59 range? Okay, 52, 59. It's right here. Okay, what percent of all scores reported? That range. So, if you look at this chart here, so that is those numbers. Total is a 52, 59 range out of this whole thing, right? So you can see, you can say, based on the data, 24 plus 50 plus 88 out of total 100 plus 200 plus 300. Since they ask a percent, you multiply 100. Then if you plug it in the calculator, 24 plus 50 plus 88, 100 plus 200 plus 300. So I got 27%. So answer is a D. Okay. Now, which of the following could be median score in study 3? Median is when you put in older, the number in the middle. So remember, total in study 3, you have a 300 students studies. So then out of 300, which one is a median? 150 first. One is median. So where's the 151 located? So here's 88 people, and you add the 67. So let's see, 80 plus 67. So up to here, you have 155. So when you put in order, 151st one located here. So any score possible between 60 to 69. So answer is B then. Okay, 151st one located between 60 to 69 in this data. Number 22. The result of which of the studies can appropriately be generalized to all 10th grader in missed week in spring 2015? So they ask you which one can be generalized. So if you look at the description here, so they said here, randomly they pick. Anything randomly in stat, you can generalize. But look at the last one. The study 3, it said volunteer. So volunteer means it could be biased. Okay, if it's a random, that you can generalize, but anything volunteer, it could be biased. So then if any data biased, then you cannot generalize for that. So answer is only 1 and 2. Okay. Number 23. 1789, Benjamin Franklin gave an amount of money to Boston, Massachusetts. The money was to be invested for 100 years in trust fund. The value of the trust fund doubled every N year. So which of the following graphs best models the value of the trust fund over time for 100 years? So double every N years. So the equation could be like whatever initial amount every N years. So like T over N like that. It looks like a very complicated, but you can just think about this way. Let's say $100 in the beginning, that fund. So every N year. So N is, I'm going to make it like 2 years, every 2 years. Right? So then 2 stands for double. So let's say T is a 2, then it will be 200, right? t is 4, then it's 400. Because every 2 years it will be double, right? So then it's supposed to be 2 to the something number of power, right? So t is just years, and then every n years it will be double. So t over n should be exponent. Okay, so this exponent function, only c shows exponential function. Okay. (24) The equation is true for all value of x, and what is the value of a, b, c. So this one is an identical equation. So you multiply it out. That's going to be equal to. So when you compare left hand side, right hand side, first of all, you need to collect like terms. So you compare. So x squared term to x squared term, a is 1. This one is x term, so b is 3. And this one, c is 2. That's how I'm going to find out those unknown constant. We call equivalent equation. Or you can say identical equation. Okay. So they ask you what is a plus b plus c. So answer has to be a. Okay, you compare. So salary and years of experience for 6 employees. They give you those data points in the graph, and they put best fitting line. Scatter plot above represent the salary y in thousands of dollars. The number of years of experience x for each 6 employees at the company. A line of best fit for the data is also shown, and which of the following could be the equation of the line of best fit? So which is the right equation for this? So first of all, let's look at the y-intercept. Y-intercept, let me erase the y-intercept is around like 47, right? Around like 47 approximately. So not this, definitely. Not this. So 95 divided by 2 will give you 47. So 47.5. So those are okay. And then slope is which one? 3 over 2 or 2 over 3? Let's look at the point here. So you can choose this point, and next one is around here. So you can say this one 1,49, and the other one 5,55. Or you can just use this one. So when you plug in 1, which one is 49? Comes out 49. So if you look at this one here, 3/2 times 1 plus 47.5. 3 over 2 is 1.5 plus 47.5. That's exactly 49. So that matches. So answer has to be B. Or you can find out slope, right? 55 minus 49 over 5 minus 4, or 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1. So that is 6 over 4, which is also 3/2. So you can find out that slope actually using those 2 points. Okay. Number 26. The equation above is graphed in the xy plane. H and K positive constant. and h is not equal to k. How many distinct, how many different x-intercept does the graph have? So to find the x-intercept, each one equals 0. So that gives x equals h, or negative h, or negative k. So those are 3 x-intercept. So answer has to be then 3. This one doesn't count to 2. That's a multiplicity we call, but they ask you how many distinct x-intercepts. So you have to say h is just once, not twice. Okay? So you have 3 distinct values. So answer has to be C. Signal from spacecraft orbiting Mercury travels to Earth speed 3 times 10 to the 8 meter per second. The distance between Earth and spacecraft is this kilometers. And which of the following is closest to the number of minutes will it take for signal from spacecraft to reach Earth? So this problem, you can use dimensional analysis. So I'm gonna start from the distance, 2.0221 times 10 to the 8 kilometers. Okay, so 1 kilometer is 1,000 meter. They gave you also unit conversion. Now, next one, they give you speed. So 3 times 10 to the 8 meter, it'll take 1 second. Okay, but remember, you're looking for minute here. So 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds. So let's look at here. This one we call dimensional analysis. So kilometer cancels out and meter cancel out and second cancel out. So you end up with a minute. That's what you're looking for. So let's plug in the calculator. So I got 11.23 around. So approximately C will be answer. So you can use dimensional analysis to answer this question. Okay. 28. The equation has a no solution. What is the value of A? No solution. So let's solve for X. So distribute. Collect like terms. Negative 3ax minus 6x. And then a minus 2. When you move the other side, a will be positive a and minus 2. So let's factor out x. Negative 3a minus 6, a minus 2. So when you divide, you can isolate x, a minus 2 over negative 3a minus 6. Now, back to question here. It said no solution. So for this value, not to have any solution, set denominator equal 0, then it will be undefined, then no solution. So negative 3a minus 6 equals 0, negative 3a equals 6, so a has to be negative 2, so answer B. Okay. The table below shows the number of lakes in the United Kingdom classified by alkalinity and depth. So if the lake has a high alkalinity, which of the following is closest to the probability that lake also has a shallow depth? So it said high alkalinity. So if you look at classification, high is basically here. Okay, so high total is 340, And then question is, what is the closest probability that is has a shallow depths? Shallow is this one here, shallow depths. So you can say 209 out of 340. Okay, that's the probability the lake has shallow depths in high alkalinity class. So when you plug in the calculator, I got around 0.61, so answer D. Number 30. Radioactive substance decay over time. The mass m in grams of the particular radioactive substance d days after the beginning of an experiment is shown in the table. So they give you exponential model right here. So first of all, you can find the A value. Use this data here. So when d equals 0, so A times 10 to the 0 when d equals 0, that is 120. So anything 0 is 1, so A is 120. So AB you can eliminate. And the other one, B is, as you see, the difference is a positive. One is a positive and the other one is a negative. So let's look at the next data then. So you should get 103.21 into M. That's going to be equal to, initial value we found the 120. A value is 120 times 10 to the, D value is a 30. So P times 30. So one thing we found here, if you remember exponential graph, this is an exponential. So as long as its base is greater than 1, then your graph looks like this. So if it's 0 is 120 here, so I'm going to label this one D and this one M. So initially it was 120. And then as time goes on, the value is a decrease. Right? So it cannot be this kind of graph. So should it be like this, right? So initially it was a 120. And then as increases like a 30, 60, 90, the value decreases going down. So going down means you have to have your p value is a negative. P value has to be negative. The reason why p value has to be negative, so think about this way. 10 to the 120 times 10 to the p is, let's say, just for my convenience, -1. So -1 times d value. So 120, 10 to the -1 means 1 over 10 to the d value. So as long as this one is actually less than 1, so 1 over 10 is between 0 and 1, then your graph looks like this, going down. So without actually calculating, you can choose your answer D if you understand the exponential. But of course, like there's a way to find out. So if you use a logarithm, it will take a little time, but you can still do it. So from here, when you divide by 120 both sides, you get 0.86 equals 10 to the 30b. And then when you take logarithm both sides, so common log, base 10, 30b. Now when you divide by 30 both sides, so log 0.86 divided by 30 will give you actually negative 0.0022. So answer should be D. You can actually find that out. But just the reason I explained the other way using graph, as long as you know B is a negative, you can just choose a D and then you can move on. Okay? As long as your exponent is a negative, then your base of the exponential function is between 0 and 1, so then this one keep on going down, which is equivalent to this data. Okay. Now, number 31. Scale drawing of room uses scale 2 centimeter equals 1 foot. In the drawing, one wall has a length of 22 centimeters. What is the actual length in feet? So you can make a proportion. So 2 centimeter equivalent to 1 foot in actual one. So if the length is a 22 centimeter, what is the actual length in feet? Okay, so you can make a proportion. So cross multiply 2x equals 22. So x is 11 feet. But just put it 11 in the gradient. The function f has a property that all x, they give you this relation. And another information, f of 6 is 12, and what is the value of f of 2? So to use this information, I'm going to choose x equals 2 to make it f of 6. So 3 f of 2 equals f of 3 times 2 is 6. Now, f of 6 is 12. 3 f of 2 equals 12. So when you divide by 3, f of 2 should be 4. And then they ask f of 2, so answer should be just 4. Okay? Number 33. The profit P from producing and selling U units of a certain product is given by the equation above. K is a constant. 200 units are produced and sold for profit $1,275. What is the value of K? So you can, first of all, let's simplify the equation. P equals 9n minus 2n when you distribute negative sign minus K. So P is 7n minus K. So now you can use that information here. They get profit 1,275 for the unit 200. So 7 times the 200 minus K. So 1,275 equals 1,400 minus K. Excuse me. When you subtract 1,400 both sides, negative 125 equals negative K. So K is 125. So that should be the answer. Okay, just plug it in. Number 34. The numbers of people in millions who visited Amusement Park A and Amusement Park B in 2009 through 2013 are listed in the table below. What is a positive difference? Positive difference. So bigger number minus small number between mean number of people in millions who visited Amusement Park B and the mean number of people in millions who visited Amusement Park A during those years. So let's find out the mean value. Mean is average. So let's say mean of Park A is you do 15.7, 15.2, 14.4, 14.1, plus 12.3 out of total data 5. So when you plug in the calculator, you will get 14.34. Now, similarly, mean of B, Park B. So I'm not going to write down every single one, but you just add all these data values and divide by 5. Then you're going to get around 16.04. And then they ask you, what is a positive difference? So you subtract. So 16.04 minus 14.34. So when you subtract, you will get 1.7 to the, is at nearest tens. So answer has to be, actually it's exactly 1.7. So that is answer. So find out their average and you subtract. Number 35. Lines T and W parallel. The equation of the line 4x plus 7y equals 14. Line W passed through negative 3, comma 8. What is the value of y-intercept? So let's make this one. Let's find the slope. 7y equals negative 4x plus 14. You divide by 7 both sides. So y equals negative 4 over 7x plus 2. So I will take this as slope. It said they are parallel. Parallel means those two lines have the same slope. Now you can say then y equals to negative 4 over 7x plus b. I'm talking about line W here. This one was a line T. And then it passed through negative 3, comma 8. So let's plug it in. 8 equals negative 4 over 7 times negative 3 plus b. 12 over 7 plus b equals 8. So b has to be 56 minus 12 over 7. So you get 44 over 7. So that is the answer. That's y-intercept of the line W. B value is y-intercept. Okay. 36. In the figure above, ABC, DEC are right triangle. CD is a 20. So this is a 20. The tangent of the angle ABC is 2.5. So tangent angle ABC is 2.5. But what I figured for these two lines must be parallel. Why? Because those are corresponding angles. Those are two right angles. So then they are parallel line. Parallel line and this angle has to be congruent by corresponding angle. So I can say tangent DEC also 2.5. With the same angle, tangent value must be same. So tangent, if you remember, so-called TOA. So tangent TOA, opposite over adjacent. So let's say adjacent is x here. So I'm talking about this tangent TOA, so opposite over adjacent. Okay. So you can say 20 over x, same as 2.5. So you can find out x value, which is a segment, length of segment ED. Cross multiply 2.5 over 1, x equals 20. So x, when you divide it, you should get x is 8. And that's the answer. 37 and 38. The table shows the recommended amount of potassium in milligrams per day for people all age according to the National Academy of Medicine. Andrea's recommended daily intake of potassium is 50% greater than her 2-year-old brother. What is the least possible age of Andrea? So you can, if you look at the table, 2-year-old brother, so 2 years belong to here, which is 3,000. So Andrea's recommended daily intake is 50% greater. So 3,000 times 50% greater, you multiply 1.5. Okay, 20% greater. This example. Then you multiply 1.2. 50% greater, you multiply 1.5. Okay, because it's 1 plus decimal in percent. Okay, this 1% increase. Then you're gonna multiply. So 20% increase, then 1.2. 50% increase, then 1.5. You multiply. So if you multiply 1.5, you will get 4,500. So if you look at the table, 4,500 located here. But you're looking for least possible age, which is a 9 years old. So answer should be 9. Okay, that's how you're gonna do. The recommended daily intake of potassium for 8-month-old child is what fraction of recommended for 2-year-old child? So in the table, 8 months old, I'm going to use a different color. 8 months old is here, 700. And then 2 years old is 30,000. So what is a fraction? So you can say 700 out of 30,000. Okay, when you reduce, 2 zeros drop it out, so 7/30. Okay, that's the answer. All right, that's it for our calculator section. So I will see you next video for other months of the SAT.